Digital literacy is simply critical to being able to participate in today's society and today's economy. And in fact, the stakes grow higher as the number of people get online, because for those people who are not yet online, their opportunity to do things the old-fashioned way, through paper, through going into an office, begins to diminish. Whether you're talking about making an airline reservation or something far more important like applying for a job, today there are many instances in which you simply can't do it by making a phone call, by going in, by submitting a paper application. You have to do it online. And so if you don't have that access, it means not just being able to, in some cases, it means not having to pay as much or having to pay more for a flight, or not being able to get the better coupons. But in other instances, it means not being able to even apply, not being able to have consideration for a job. And unfortunately, these challenges accrue even more for those who have the least. So in California, for those making under $22,000 a year, a third of them are not online. And so you imagine the additional challenges that they have to overcome in addition to the everyday challenge of living in poverty. CETF started out as an organization with a significant amount of money. And one of the initial challenges I remember Sunny setting out was saying, we are not just going to spend this money, we're going to leverage it. And they really did. I think at the beginning, there were people who were skeptical who said, oh, sure, you're going to leverage that money. And CETF really did that. When there were federal funds available through the Recovery Act, Sunny was set on, and Sunny and the board were set on how do we leverage this to get the most money in California as possible. And they did two things that were really important. They served as a sort of an administrative head to be able to apply for funds and to ensure that federal funding was going to get to a lot of smaller nonprofits on the ground who were doing really important work, but probably would not have had the capacity and would not have been as competitive to apply for the federal funds on their own. And CETF also provided matching funds, which was really important because at the federal side, matching funds were critical. And the more match you had, the more competitive you were. And a lot of states didn't have this. In fact, California was one of the only states that had this. And that helped California and helped make those organizations far more competitive and made that initial investment that CETF had go a lot farther. The other piece CETF has been really important has been around data, both in getting data out to the rest of California by doing their annual survey, where they are really explaining at a level of detail that's not possible at a national survey who has access and who doesn't, and really showing what kind of changes are happening. And because the organization is so data-driven, this has also helped them pivot or turn some of their programs to really focus on the areas where there wasn't as much growth happening. And I really can't underscore enough how important it is for a foundation to do that. Lots of people talk about using metrics, but it's really hard to look at your own programs that you love, that you help to create, and to ask, are they doing what we're hoping they're going to do? Are they reaching those outcomes? And that's something where CETF has really walked the walk and is absolutely a national leader on. And because of all of this work, it is really going to help California meet its goals and also place California in a better position when the next round of federal funding comes in. In other states where there hasn't been leadership like CETF, you've seen some of the programs, some of the interest has retrenched. And here they're keeping this issue alive, talking about it, keeping the capacity in the pipeline of people who are working on these programs. Other funders see that this is still something that is important, and not just important, but critical to invest in. And that's going to serve California the next time there is more funding available, and it's going to serve California as CETF continues to invest in the state.